Connors and Ferris handles workers' comp, Social Security disability, and personal injury cases. Listen, I get it. Workers' comp claims can be a real pain. But Connors and Ferris are here to fight for you and get you the compensation you deserve. Whether you threw out your back on the job, slipped when you should have gripped, or your boss thinks overtime means free labor. Spoiler, it doesn't. They've got your back at Connors and Ferris. With offices in New York City, Syracuse, Rochester, and Buffalo, they're the go-to team for getting the compensation you deserve. No gimmicks, no nonsense, just real results. Call Connors and Ferris, 262-COMP. That's 262-COMP for Connors and Ferris.
You got a mountain inside your chest. It's been a while, just waiting to crest. Look through the fog and clench your fists. Strike a spark, ignite the mist. Feel the earth beneath your soles. Roots run deep, you're in control. Whisper loud and let them hear. Every answer's in your mirror. Step into the
Welcome to another installment of Billightenment, but I really want to put this out on Billified as well, because I think there's so many things happening in the world and time and stuff and I have questions and thoughts and things, and I love it because Sheila reached out and said we haven't done one in a while, and I thought, wow. Sheila, you've lost a lot of weight, by the way. Is that rude to say?
Yeah. Almost 50 pounds, yeah.
Wow!
Yeah.
Really?
Getting healthy, feeling better.
Yeah. Isn't that nice?
Got a few more to go. Yes, it is.
Yeah, that's
it's
nice.
Like being able to reach down and do things and not be so...
Yeah, right. I got you. That's pretty good. That caught me off guard. I just looked up. I was like, wow, look at Sheila. Sheila looks great. So let's start with, because you said you wanted to talk about heart math, but we started kind of on our own, and we were talking about how did going back to school for me come up? Right. Yeah, wow. And I said that, here's the thing, and I was reading about, I gave you the story as to why, and I've said it on the podcast before, and it just seemed to just come about serendipitously that you thought, well, how do I say no to this? And now I'm going, am I in over my head in some areas? I don't know. But we were talking about person-focused therapy, which I said I like because it sort of lets the person come to their own conclusion. You're not telling them they're wrong. Their feelings aren't wrong. There isn't anything wrong. And the example I used was a guy who just got married, and then he decided that he likes going out for beers on a Friday with his buddies after work, and his wife would get annoyed, and he didn't understand why. And he's like, listen, I don't get it. It's just me blowing off steam. Yeah. And then the next session, he says, I've been thinking about this a lot, and I realize she thinks I value my friends over her.
Bingo. And
he's like, that's not the case. And, but it really comes down to communication in a relationship is so important.
Exactly.
Right. But I just think when you think of the relationship between the person and life, right, that's always coming at you, it's really how do we handle all that stuff? And we've seen a lot of changes, and you've been saying there's going to be a lot of changes, and so I'll leave it there. And I know you wanted to talk about some heart math, and I think that all kind of fits in here. Yeah.
It's all about the consciousness, the thought process of the emotions or what is happening. So, the wife kind of concerned that the friends was more important was her. It was bingo right there.
Yeah.
But it's like we justify our actions and not really understanding what is happening within the relationship. Yeah. And it's all about listening to the person, from the heart. And that's what heart math is all about.
Okay, so what is that? Because I hear you say heart math.
Okay.
And there's the Heart Math Institute.
That is the Heart Math Institute. It is about learning to connect with your heart intelligence. Heart intelligence meaning it has a brain. It has more it has more cells in it than the actual brain. And your heart is what starts beating, when they first see that there is a embryo there. Yep. And it's the heart that you see. So the heart starts first and then it develops. And in heart math, it's all about building resilience against stress and trauma and going within. So whenever we talk about going within, it's an inside job. Our whole life is an inside job.
Yeah.
So we need to really take a look at our own lives. Are we happy? If we're not happy, why are we unhappy? So what I do as an energy practitioner is help people understand what's going on inside. What are the choices that you're making? You know, and a lot of it is relationship stuff and professional stuff.
I think a lot of times too, we're so conditioned, I feel like, to, and I know that a lot of times we seem to say the same things, maybe in different ways.
Oh, yeah, and
right?
we need to.
Yes,
and because
I
that's
agree.
how we need to people to understand it.
But right. So what I'm saying is, like, so many times we look for our happiness from external sources.
Right.
And really it has to come from within you. And that's so easy to say. Yeah. But then again, you know, here comes somebody, and if they only just behave differently, I would feel so much better.
Right.
And that's not possible, and you can't really assert on that. And you have to kind of sometimes look down into yourself and go, what is this triggering in me?
Bingo.
Right.
Bingo. And how does it affect me?
What is that belief?
What was that?
What is that belief in me that makes this like, rah?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Upsets you, or you feel defensive about it.
Right.
When you said that.
Right.
When, you know, all the other stuff, I do all this for you and that for
Yes,
you, and why
yes.
are you saying that? Well, that's also expectations in a relationship, and a healthy relationship, communicating.
Yeah.
We talked about communicating, listening to the other person. So heart math has to do with measurable data showing how your emotions, your field of energy affects your physical body, all different areas of your body. Yeah. And scientifically, it is the connection between the heart and the thought process. So thought is energy, and thoughts are consciousness. What's in your consciousness field? What are you thinking?
See, this is so interesting because I was trying to think of something, not something to talk to you about, but a way to phrase the question that I had. And it is about thoughts. And I think, I always say, I do believe that we create our own reality. And everything that's coming, at some point, if you can just stop and go, whoa, I'm doing this. This isn't that. This is me. And how? But if we create our own reality, and we can do it just by focusing on it, because I believe that whatever you want, you can have or be or do whatever you want in this life.
Yeah.
So how do you stop focusing then on things like the anemic bank account? You know what I'm saying? The bank account that looks like it went on
I get it.
Ozempic.
The scarcity. Everybody's
and that's
going
like, right, so you feel that, and then you start to go, well, that's what I'm focusing on. Right now I'm worried, and I'm scared, and I'm focused, and that's where my focus is. And instead of sitting back and going, and I don't know, I started doing something called the 5-minute journal in the morning where you're writing down things. And some days I have a hard time. Like, I got to sit there to go, what am I grateful about? I can't come up with a third one.
So that's where you make it very simple. You know, I'm grateful I can see today. I'm grateful I can walk. Just go with the little things, because that is really what it's all about.
Jesus, you're so sorry.
Right.
But you're so right. I just, as you're saying that, you're so right.
Comparing ourselves to other people is one of the triggers, one of the issues in the tissues. Where did you learn that? You're not good enough. You're not worthy enough.
Right.
All right. So it goes back to the thought process and development, you know, emotional development, going through the different stages, finding out your authenticity. What does that mean?
Yeah, your authentic self.
Yeah, right.
I know, it's a great term, right? We
Well,
hear that.
it's a
and
buzzword.
manifestation are the two buzzwords right now.
Right. And also, recalibrating and attunement. You got to attune or align yourself with the energy. It's like, what the heck are they talking about? All it is what's going on inside. What are you feeling inside?
Yeah.
What emotions? And that's what heart math is all about settling yourself in any situation. It's about changing you on the inside.
Right.
And so what heart math does is shows it scientifically, but it's really about building your own a way of understanding things. It is about going with inside and changing the total chemistry of your whole body and understanding that relationships are important, but the first important one is with yourself. And how are you acting? How are you relating to people? And it affects every area of our life. And when you were just talking a minute ago, I kept hearing fear.
Yeah.
It's fear.
Right.
Where did you learn fear? Yeah, exactly.
My dad.
Exactly. Right. It's just like with all the conversations we've had before about early development and how it affected you and the choices that you make. And then also now what's happening is that this is a full worldwide change in the shift of energy, consciousness, doing things, survival. Survival is the key, is that everything is turning upside down. And, sometimes you have to, when a door closes, another one opens up.
Yeah.
But we're so fearful of going through that door, of opening it or it closing. We stay in that fearful mode of survival. Oh my God. And then it's the whack-a-mole effect. It affects this emotion, that emotion.
Right.
And that's what I say about integrated energy therapy or any type of counseling, thought process, how you relate to things. It is about what have you learned inside. And a lot of people compare themselves with other people. And you're unique. You're authentic. But we want to change the other person so that we can do what we want to do.
Right.
So then you go back into the selfishness and, things that we learned and say, oh, no, I'm not being selfish. Look what all I'm doing for you. But it's how important is a relationship. And everybody is important to be heard, to be listened to. And that's what the major counseling is all about. Go with inside. What's going on inside the person? I want to hear you. Tell me. And not try to change them or judge them or do differently. Just because you have a different life doesn't mean that they're not just as important.
Well, I love the saying with Nike, just do it. And sometimes you just have to do it, right? Whatever
you have to face your fears. You have to go through it.
Right.
And if you don't, nothing changes.
But if we also, so let's say, just do it and see what's going to happen, right? I kind of took that approach with the podcast in general and buying the equipment and all that. But on the other side, is there an importance to, if there's a little hesitation to try to line up with your energy, kind of, and it sounds, because it's like a metaphysical thing, right? You're trying to line up with energy and figure out what's the right thing. And sometimes I don't know if people know how, I don't know that I know how to exactly do that. Let me give you this example. You get invited to the family reunion, and drunk Uncle Harry's going to be there, and he grabbed your wife's ass at the last one, and she doesn't want to go, and you're really pissed, but your mom will be pissed off if you don't go, and if you can't show up by yourself because everybody wants to see the kids, and you got to get your wife to come, and how do you do that? And then my only thing I can think is, you have to try to get her to agree, and then focus on what I would say, and this sounds nuts, is like, what are the attributes of Uncle Harry? He's funny. He can be nice. He can be generous. He can be this. And that you get more of that and less of the drunk ass grabber than the other. Do you understand what I'm saying? So it's almost like sometimes you have to make the decision and then line up with the decision.
Exactly.
But look for the attributes that would be on the plus side than the negative side of the stick.
Or another thing is like, why are you going in the first place? It's not for that uncle.
No.
You're going to be with family and to enjoy their company. And everybody, even though you might not have a relationship with them years ago, everybody changes.
Yes.
And as we get older, the more we realize life is too short. Mm-hmm. And how important is it? It's important to go to the reunion to be able to connect with your family members.
It's important. It's funny you say that because we're recording this on the day that the morning they announced that Robert Redford died.
I know, I seen that.
He's 89 years old, and you go, there was somebody who I think was like incandescently handsome. Maybe one of the, honestly, right? That was a guy who tried to grit up his face and just couldn't do it.
Yeah, he's great.
Right. In the 70s, you had Jack Nicholson became a leading man, and he was certainly not pretty, right? He was schlubby and scruffy and all that, and you'd think even De Niro and stuff, those became the leading men. And this guy was just like, even when he tried to slub it up, he couldn't do it. Yeah. It just was impossible.
And also Clint Eastwood and, all the old ones. It's like, it's sad, but, it's fun.
Right, but he did such cool things and was so for the independent films and the...
Exactly.
And I feel...
He didn't follow the crowd.
No, and I feel like the whole Sundance now has become, it got commercialized.
Right, exactly.
They're going to keep certain films out and not certain films in. But I felt like Robert Redford's point was exactly what we're talking about.
Exactly.
Every voice needs to be heard.
Exactly.
Every art needs to be seen. Everybody has a point of view that should have an opportunity to be seen by as many as possible.
Right.
You get to choose whether you want to see it or not, but let's give it a platform that's a little bigger than, hey, I made a movie, come to my backyard.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's also, when you think of how did the movie come out in the first place, where did that inspiration come from? What is the whole purpose of having the movie? And just like what you just said about Robert Redford, everybody's individual, and give them the chance to make a movie.
Yes.
Give them the chance to actually express themselves, because it's all about individuality, but it's also about oneness. And now think of that.
Yeah.
Oneness. We're all human beings. We all have to make a living. We all have to breathe and take care of our families if we have families. And it's all about survival. And what is the way you want to survive? Do you want to be positive or do you want to be negative? Do you want to be happy? Or do you want to keep going and doing the same thing and feeling, not happy?
Right, where you're like pulling a piano off the side of the building. Right,
and then so that's where the mental stuff comes into play. The consciousness. What you're thinking is what you get. And if you can change everything around, if you look at situations like you're talking about your uncle, about the resentment, where did the resentment come from?
By the way, not a true story. I made that up.
Oh, that's good.
I just want to let you know. Well, no one ever grabbed anybody's.
Exactly.
Actually, no. You know what? There may be a little truth now that I think about it.
Well, it could be a female that you were talking about.
No, I didn't. I just thought of it. I could see this. There's a picture. Never mind.
I know.
There's a picture. That's so funny.
It's all about relationships. It's
is.
about how you interact, just like with the couple in the very beginning.
Right.
Him going out on Friday night, not being with her. It's like, okay, let's look at the real issue here. She didn't feel heard or listened to or important enough. I know it's deep, but it's all connected.
Yes.
With your thoughts and how you respond to
But
people.
it does sound like a lot of this stuff, how do I say this without sounding, like where you would, I think a lot of it is the individual. You have to go inside.
It's
right.
It's an inside job.
Yes.
This is what I said.
Everything is an inside job. So when you're having Reiki done,
yes,
is it working or does it not work? Now,
it's working.
No, I understand, but I'm just saying, like, there are people who walk away, I didn't feel anything. I don't know. Okay, well, but is that your resistance to it and not recognizing it? And is there
intention?
Yes, and if you go in and go, boy, I'm having a hard time here lining up. I need something that's going to help me. That conduit can help you get back into your flow, but you got to go inside
exactly
and recognize, I'm having a hard time here, and that's it. And if it's not Reiki, if it's talk therapy, if it's
massage therapy, if it's acupuncture,
yes,
hands-on healing, pastors or whatever.
Yes, yep.
It's in what's happening here. It is the flow of quantum energy coming through and the intention. That's a buzzword too. A lot of people don't know what intention means.
Right.
Well, it has to do with what's your agenda. What do you really want to achieve?
Mm-hmm.
Are you trying to manipulate somebody? Are you really trying to help somebody? And it's the same with ourselves. I mean, are we going to have a Reiki session because my wife wanted me to have it and this is the only way to save the marriage? Or do I really enjoy it? It's my time piece. I used to say years ago, I was so busy, being in the dentist chair, just relaxing, just totally ozoning out is the time that I was able to relax. It's like, you're kidding, in the dentist chair?
Yeah.
It was a time for me.
Yeah,
Same
I know.
with
That
Reiki.
sounds really weird. I think I fell asleep in the dentist chair once while
Well,
they were working on my mouth.
So
I woke myself
it's the way we look at it. But it could be, as a child, you were tortured and going to the dentist and said, no, don't go to the dentist.
Yes, right.
When I was a phlebotomist, it was the same thing about, getting blood work done. And if the parent has had the terror over it and the trauma, they put it onto the children. Oh, he's just like me, He's just like me. He's gonna. And the other kids go, no, Mom, here we go again. And then all of a sudden, the mom passes out, and then the child or the person passes out because it wasn't anything that was done to them. It was the fear of the issues in the tissues, the imprint of the energy that was in the cellular structure. Yeah, and it's all about choices, going inside, energy.
Yeah, and so many things that we have in life are learned behaviors.
Exactly.
Or learned reactions, which really then goes, is it nature or nurture?
How did you learn it? When did you learn it?
Yeah. Well, what was really young.
Yeah, and what was it going on? It's like, the school system, Years ago, we learned how to read, write, and arithmetic, be able to do multiplications, be able to quantitatively think. And now it's like they have to have the computer, they have to have the calculator to figure out things out.
Yes.
And it's like, and the same with the cursive. Why did the cursive go away and just printing come out? And so it's like, those are the changes that we've seen over the years. Why did that happen?
I don't know.
Well, it's a change of the frequency of what's happening in the earth. It's also good evolution, but it's also, what's the agenda behind it? What is the intention behind it? Think about that. So COVID was a paradigm shift, a shift of consciousness, meaning things are going to change.
Yeah.
But it had to lead up to that to change, just like evolution in medicine.
Right.
What we knew 200 years ago is not what we know now. And why did it speed up so quickly in the last 100 years? The last 50 years?
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, that's the change of energy. How is it coming in? And it has to do with the actual energy of the earth, the frequency of the earth, and also how the sun is transmitting the energy, the heat, down into our electromagnetic field. How do we respond to things?
See, it's so weird because it sounds so
woo-woo.
Yeah,
yeah. But it's all scientific.
Yeah, it is, because it's all here. This is the stuff that is here. I always say you never truck anything in here.
Well, if you look at that though, all right, think about that. If you're looking at, you're evolving and you're coming up with proof that as we're evolving, just like we didn't come from apes. And the reason why we have 23 chromosomes instead of 24 like the apes is it has to do with a higher frequency. It has to do with our creator.
Right.
And a lot of people don't want to believe that is because they have the fear or something, blockage from religion. It's not about religion. It's about your inside connectedness of who you are as a divine being. Why are we here? Where did we come from?
Right.
So if you take a look at all that, you can see the changes starting to happen. And it just didn't happen. It's been evolving for some time. The reason why it might not want to evolve to the truth is that people would make money. People would have to change. The books would have to change. The teaching would have to change. The education would have to change. And a lot of people say, oh, no, I can't do that. I'm going to look ego. All right? So it's all about people. What is scientifically, that's what I like about the scientists that really go, okay, let's look at all the new things that are coming out. And a lot of times the new things have been out, but society wouldn't let them out because then it would change. What would it change? It would change the academics. It would change the financial. People who were controlling or profiting from it wasn't going to profit anymore because then everybody could do it. Everybody knew. And that's exactly what, going back to being authentic, all right? Going back, we all have the power to connect within. We all are part of a bigger picture, whatever it is. We came from somewhere. But it's the miracle in science of how a seed, an egg and a sperm come together and it forms. How did that happen? How did that happen? So when you go back to science, you can talk about the sacred geometry and the molecules and atoms and how life actually developed.
Right.
That's where we understand it. However, intention and agenda. Where are they going to go with this? Just like AI. AI is good. It's the intention of the person that is producing the AI.
Yeah, right.
But, and there's negative and positive. There we go with the love and the fear, negative and positive, good and bad.
Right.
And it's coming out now.
And I think it is sometimes that simple, but we complicate it with things and they go, well, I can't do that. I got to get over here, or the kids are this or that. But sometimes
it's making balance. Doing balance.
Yes.
It's about balance.
Right.
Okay. And also compromising. Okay, I'll do this, I'll do that. That's called a relationship, a healthy relationship. Because everything changes every single day.
Yes.
You have to be ready for the changes. And then what you were talking about, compartmentalizing, all right? And what you have to do. Same with multitasking. Women with multitasking, men with compartmentalizing.
Yeah.
It's the same thing.
Right.
And what is really good is when you put it together. When you put it together and work together as a team.
Yeah.
As a partnership.
Right.
All right. And that's what we all want, don't we? We don't want to be alone.
No.
All right.
No, we're social animals.
It doesn't mean that if you're alone that you're not happy. Because
no, and I think you have to have that security in yourself.
And where do you get that?
To do that from inside.
Yeah, inside.
You got to get it
exactly.
inside. Yeah.
Exactly.
So it's all. Well, I think we've just solved the world's problems here. I don't know.
No.
Is that possible?
Well, it's, you know what? It's all about what you put out there. You know, if you're going to look at things as, you know, being bad, then that's what's going to come towards you. And it's like,
I agree with that.
I look at hope.
Yes, me
hope
too. Right.
And excitement. And the light is that there's always light at the end of the tunnel, as they say.
I think so too. I also think that, in a very weird thing, if you know, there are a lot of things that have been said. So, but let's say religiously, right? Yeah. Let go and let God.
Yes,
that's one, right? Okay,
that's what recovery work is all about.
Yep, and I think that that's a really good thing. I would say to anybody that I'm not completely sure that human beings are capable of unconditional love. I'm not sure. But I am pretty sure that the universe loves all of us unconditionally.
Absolutely.
Unconditionally.
We're one with the divine.
So all that means is whatever you believe, it will support.
Exactly.
I don't have enough, it will support that.
Exactly.
I have enough, it will support that.
Be happy with what you have.
Yes. And
it's gratitude list. I'm happy I can open my eyes and see.
Well, it's funny that you say that because I go, all right, that's so simple. But when you said...
You need to keep it simple.
No, but right. And when you said, I have legs that work, I started to think, oh my gosh, I watched my father, who used to run and do all this stuff, fall continuously.
Yes.
And his legs didn't work. His body wasn't working anymore. To get up and go, I got this. This is a gift.
That's why
this is a gift today.
Exactly. And when I share all the things I've been through, all the tragedy and trauma and my family all dying, watching them die, and the important things in life, doing hospice work, the honor of it, seeing the decline of a person and feeling sad because you knew who they were before. Mm-hmm. But also it's about you having compassion for your fellow man, having compassion for yourself first.
Yeah.
Go within, find peace within, and then you can give it out to others. And
I have this weird thing, like, I go, you never get it done. You never get it wrong. Like, stop beating yourself up about, I shouldn't have done that. Decisions led to this.
Shoulda, woulda, and coulda. Beating yourself up.
You never get it wrong. It's all about learning, and it's a ride. And at the end of the ride, you're not done. You're just done in this body, this machine, this machine. And that's why it's a crude way to put it, but all we are pumps and pipes.
Right.
You know what I mean? Think about it. How many people do you know had a stent put in their heart? Why? Because the pipe was clogged.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And when they talk about ascension, everybody talks, that's a buzzword too, ascension. People think they're going to die right now. They're going to ascend just like Jesus did. No, ascension is building a higher frequency within inside yourself. Mm-hmm. In other words, your spiritual knowing inside, your abilities. And that's what's happening now, the shift of consciousness. Where is the connection between spirituality? And when they hear the word God, Jesus, Buddha, whatever, what are they going to react towards it? You know, it's all about not naming anything or putting a label on anything, but really about going inside and feel the power that you have inside. And you can take that power with you when you pass over. Because your soul never dies. That's the difference in the energy now.
Well, see, that's what I believe. And I think sometimes, I don't want to...
Remember, I'm a minister.
Yeah, I don't want to... What I was going to say is I don't want to shit on religion, and I certainly don't. No. But I think that sometimes I think it would be hard to argue that it wasn't a form of control. And if you look at the Catholic Church and all the things that went on, and the peoples whose lives were damaged by actions that people took where they covered up and they hid and they did it, and it was all about control and property and not taxation and all this. And I'm not saying that there aren't good people in that religion.
It's all about learning
that come with proper intent. I'm just saying that maybe you need to step back and go, it's really about, again, the inside job. I really think the message of Jesus was messed up. And I am the way. No, be like me. You are like me. Go like me. You have this power. You have it all in you.
And have compassion. Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Right. So, cool.
There you go. What else is happening in Sheila's world?
So what's going on with me? A lot of different things here. Once a month, the first Wednesday of the month, I'm actually part of a conscious psychic development class at Mythic
Really?
Treasures. Yeah. Mythic Treasures is a metaphysical store in Henrietta on Jefferson Road. And mythic is everything about things you can't see type thing.
Yeah.
But it's really about love, God, however you want to practice it. Of course, it's got the bad name of woo-woo stuff, but it's really not. And so this class, this psychic development class, is free.
Okay.
And the actual owner of Mythic Treasures, Sue Stevenson, actually wanted 3 of us spiritual people. We all come from different walks of life.
Yeah.
All right. We have Lady Shira, she actually is a coach, a witch coach. All right. It's not Wicca. It's not pagan. It's like her own. She's a reverend. It's about shadow work, but the light and the dark.
Yep.
Then we have a medium, Colleen Irwin, spiritualism and, Lily Dale and all the other stuff and reading people. And I'm more the metaphysical.
Yeah.
Metaphysical meaning the spiritual part of who we are, where do we come from, what's our divinity. And the 3 of us have a different way of communicating, but it's all the same.
Yeah.
It's all about who are you inside, your spiritual development, how can you recognize it, and everybody learns in a different way. Just like I don't like tomatoes, so I eat something else.
Right,
We all
right.
have a different flair in the buffet, a buffet of life. And
Right.
sometimes you like food one time and you don't another. It's all about growth, too. So that's the first Wednesday of the month. We just started this past month. Also, I'm spitting all over myself. Sorry about that. Also, I do private events, all right, on all different topics. All right, you can go to my website and check all that out. But that is, a lot of people just want to talk it over with their friends. Have a get-together, have me come in for a couple hours.
Yeah.
And let's talk. And questions. A lot of people have questions. So that's what I do also. Of course,
I like
have,
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And of course, I have my sessions, individual sessions, where we talk about, what's no longer serve you, and let's get them out. So I do energy work on them. But it starts with talking, just like listen to you, intimacy.
Yeah.
Having that intimacy to want to share what's really going on. Because a lot of times they go to professionals and it's like, I don't want that. What time is it? See you next week. It's like, no, let's look on tools that you can use.
Right.
And that's the difference. Being a metaphysical minister, it's about things unseen, all right? And how can you change your life? And then, of course, I have my classes, Integrated Energy Therapy, where you can actually learn how to do this on yourself, bring your consciousness field up. And then also Unity Field Healing is about tapping into this higher divine quantum energy that's here now.
And you can find all this at
On my
SheilaTillich.com.
website. And then heart math. I can teach you how to do heart math.
Yeah.
Building your self-resilience against stress.
Yeah.
Changing your variability rate of calmness so that in any situation you can be calm. Or you can think about it before, keeping the calmness and not letting your blood pressure rise.
Ah,
right? It's
which
the same
isn't
as
healthy.
yoga. It's about doing yoga, but without having to do all the
Stretch.
stretching or whatever, So
Yep.
I have a combination, and I do all this stuff myself.
Yeah.
I have to. I have sessions on myself all the time with other people.
Yeah.
And also, when I give a session to somebody, I get healed at the same time because my emotions and stuff comes out too. And that is the connection with the compassion, the figure 8 energy, quantum energy coming through the earth, and how you react, think, and behave around people. All right?
Yeah. Very good.
Yeah. I
Very
love
good.
it. SheilaTillich.com.
Yeah, go to Sheila to SHEILA. Instead of
SHEILLIC. Yeah.
What I did.
That's all right.
SheilaTillich.com.
You got a mountain
Well, Sheila, another
inside
simple but needed, right?
Exactly.
And I think it's great.
For
For Sheila Tillich, I'm Bill Moran. We'll see you tomorrow.
Ignite the mist.
All right.
Feel the earth beneath your soles. Roots run deep.
Have you been to Leo's Bakery and Deli in East Rochester recently? Oh, you got to get there. They're open every day, so it's very convenient. It'll satisfy your sweet tooth, your sandwich cravings. Get the Cubano. Tell them Billified said to have the Cubano sandwich. Fresh baked bread, handcrafted pastries, deli favorites, and desserts like cannolis that'll make you rethink your self-control. It's all waiting for you. So, what's the best thing about Leo's? Everything. Check them out at Despatch Drive in East Rochester because every day is a good day for Leo's because the best thing about Leo's is everything.